guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Enzo Masia and I'm very excited to have you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for choosing to watch this video. And for all those who are watching for the very first time, who are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It is an amazing channel. It's got great tools that will help you, that will empower you on your journey to self-actualization, particularly as a gay man. For those who are returning, thank you so much for your loyalty. I appreciate the fact that you are here helping us grow. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to grow. And today I'm so excited to talk about an interesting topic, which is dating as a gay man, which is quite interesting for me. I'll be sharing just some reflections from my own journey and how I experienced, dating within the community. And experiencing how the community is in general, and maybe share some tips, a few gems here and there to help you navigate your dating journey and hopefully meet the love of your life. So the beginning of my dating journey was actually quite great, honestly, in terms of how everything unfolded. I think I only dated one person short term until I got into a long-term relationship which lasted for about 10 years. And in those relationships, I think what stands out for me is that I met those people organically. um it wasn't online like we do now. Going on the various dating apps, which apps they are. I'm not even going to actually promote them on my channel. But yeah, we met organically and connected and got to know each other, and spend time with each other, you know um and that's how the relationships grew and developed, etc., etc. But post that, I think dating for me was quite interesting. After getting out of my long-term relationship, you can imagine, it was quite a daunting experience even for me, because how do you move from like so much stability to now having to put yourself out there and figure out how the world of dating now works. Literally, I had 10 years, to catch up on, in terms of, what are people doing now? How are people meeting? How are people connecting, and it became very clear very quickly that, people are connecting online, be it, on social media or on the specific dating apps. But people are connecting online, and that's how they're meeting, whether it's for short term or long term, whatever people want. But it became apparent very quickly that everyone is just meeting online, and obviously I had to get onto that bandwagon if I had any hope of meeting anyone. And going through a few dates and meeting some people, and some stints were actually very, very much short term, and some were longer than others. But I learned a few things about you know um, being clear about what you want, when it comes to certain when it comes to relationships. Before you go on to a dating app, I think it's very important to know what you want for yourself, and also once you meet the person that you're going on a date with, to clearly articulate that. Because I found that oftentimes a lot of people that I had been chatting with, were not very clear in our initial conversations, um, you know about what they wanted. A lot of people would just, give this pretentious resume as you're talking and you're engaging initially, and then when you meet, it's a different ball game altogether. If you decide to pursue anything, or it's a different ball game altogether, and you're like, but this is not what I was exposed to. This is not the energy you were giving me when we were talking. And so that's why I can't emphasize this enough. It's very important. Be honest. Be honest about what you want. Be clear about what you want. If it is money that you want, say it up front that, hey, I want money. If it is help that you want, say it up front. Be clear. It's embarrassing, Yes, it's embarrassing, but be honest to say, you know what, I'm going through a rough patch in my life and I need a man that can help me with one, two, three, and four. Because I feel like once you are clear about what you want, then the rules of engagement can also just revolve around that. Then you know that, okay, fine, this person is not for me because I can't give them one, two, three, and four. And not waste each other's time trying to explore a relationship when the other person seriously is considering a relationship for long term, and growth, etc., etc., and the other person just wants specific things. It just creates unnecessary frustration, you know for the various people involved. So be very clear, about what you want, insofar as relationships are concerned, so that the expectations are very clear from the onset, and then the other person can weigh, whether or not that is something that they are up to meeting or not. Some relationships you're just meant to just maybe connect platonically, and that's okay, because a lot, of relationships, within our community, develop from that. People will initially talk to explore the possibility of, a connection or chemistry, and only find that they're actually better off as friends, so also have those conversations. Don't try and blur the lines. If you're very clear that you don't want to be in a relationship with this person, clearly articulate that, and then it makes life so much easier, because then you know that, okay, fine, we can only be friends. Obviously, when somebody rejects you, it's very painful. I mean, I've gone through my fair share of rejections where people did not necessarily like my vibe or did not necessarily like me as a person, um, and that is not a reflection on me and who I am. It's just, it's a compatibility issue, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with me, and I will not be for everyone, and everyone will not be for me. And that's just as simple as it is, because we want different things. We like different things in people. We're attracted to different things in people, and different people, offer different things. So it's very important to also understand that when you're on your journey, to not take rejection personally. I know that it hurts when you wanted someone, for the longest time, and finally when you articulate, your desire or interest to, consider the possibility of being in a relationship with them, and they shut you down. And unfortunately, not everyone, in the streets is very kind, and not everyone is, very forthcoming, and very truthful and very honest. So that experience can also, be painful, in terms of how the other person delivers, how they feel, with regards to what you are possibly proposing. But the issue that I'm highlighting here is that don't take those things personally. And yeah, I think, date as much as you'd like to, and date as much as you can, and also understand, the process of dating as well. Dating is not just about, hooking up. Dating is actually taking the time to know the person, which is something that, can be done platonically as well, when both parties, agree to that. It's You literally can just meet the person, when you are going wherever. Decide you're going bowling or whatever, and you going to do a particular activity. Are you going to church together? Are you going to the movies, etc., etc., etc.? Take the time to do that. Take the time to go out. Take the time to, get to know the other person. I know that there's a trend within our community, like, you go on one date and you're like, oh, I want to marry him. I want to marry him today, you know. But I strongly, advise against that. In as much as you would want to, you may feel that way. Just allow yourself to calm down, to relax, and then take the time. Because one thing about getting to know someone, is that it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to get to know someone because it's a process. We don't always, open up to people immediately, particularly, in a dating setting. A lot of the times, people put their best foot forward. You show up looking great. You put your best speak forward. You give of your best, but once you start, spending more time together casually outside of formal settings, you don't always have to go fine dining for a date. You don't always have to, be in a setup that puts you under pressure to perform. You know, sometimes you can just, hang out with a person, with their friends. Wow, that's reminding me of um, an incident. Oh God. Yeah, where I was dating someone and they were just always with their friends. And for me, that was literally like such a red flag because I wanted, yes, I understand that you want us to meet your friends, but I also want to get to know you, on a one-on-one where we just sit and we just talk and we hang out outside of, that space. So anyway, so yeah, don't do that. Not a good idea. Definitely don't, um, advise. Just do it in different settings. See the person when they are with their friends, but not all the time. See the person, when they are going to church, for instance, or exploring their spirituality, if that's something you're comfortable with. And obviously, they invite you to be part of that because that's very important. Not all of us, would immediately want to explore that or share that kind of intimacy with someone that we've just met or we're getting to know. So that's also very important. Consent, 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 all the way in everything that you do within the dating process. Be very clear about boundaries. Be very clear about personal space. Don't rush to be in someone's personal space. Let them invite you into their space, because even that is just showing that they're giving you a certain level of access, and within that certain level of access, it allows you to also be comfortable and be vulnerable, and that's how they get to know you and you get to know them, and as that unfolds, then you know that you're getting to know the person better, and you are better able to make a call regarding whether or not you would like to take things to the next level. One thing that I've often noted, like within our community, is that we move like very fast, move very, very, very fast. Like everything must just happen now. Like we're getting to know each other today, and the next day, a lot of things are just unfolding very quickly. But I caution against that. Take your time. If you meet someone and you feel that they are coming at a certain speed, have the necessary engagements with that person to say, hey, let's dial back a little bit. Let's take the time to just agree on the fundamentals, agree on where we would like to see ourselves, where we think this is going, and whether or not we think this is going to work. And another thing that I think, as I'm talking about this, that is coming up, is the fact that it's very important for you to agree on the fundamentals. What matters to you as a person? What is important to you, in a partner? And how do you think your person looks like, or what does your ideal person looks like? But focus on the fundamentals. There are key non-negotiables that each of us have when it comes to relationships. Focus on those. And at times when you are focusing a lot on those, it will sort of reject a lot of people, because you will use that as a basis to basically screen the different individuals that you want to be with, that you possibly want to consider going on dates with, and using your key fundamentals, those non-negotiables will help you. It will save you a lot of heartache because then you know that when you're going on a date with that particular person, you agree on certain things and you know that those are in place. Although sometimes some people lie, unfortunately. People will say that they meet certain fundamentals just to basically have an audience with you, just to meet you, because they like you, or whatever reason. But people lie. But in any case, even if they do lie once you get into the relationship, they reveal their true self because you can't hide who you are forever, eventually you will find out that actually this person lied in as far as this is concerned. And obviously that must be a basis for you to consider whether or not you would want to be in a relationship with someone, who lied about something so important. Because at the end of the day, you want to be in a relationship that is progressive. You want to be in a relationship where you are building with someone. You don't just want to be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship, depending on obviously your initial objective when it comes to relationships as well. I guess you have to keep that at the back of your mind. But what I'm saying is you don't want your time wasted. Whether you wanted, a short-term situation or a long-term situation, that will inform, a lot of, decisions when it comes to what you accept and what you will not accept when it comes to relationships. So those are the things that I've learned so far, when it comes to dating and relationships within our space. And that's how I would advise you and encourage you and wish you all the best in meeting, the love of your life. Obviously, I'm not, a licensed psychologist or therapist. This is purely just my advice based on my experiences. And so you can't take what I say as, cast in stone. This is just my counsel. You need to be able to assess your individual situation and make a call on what will work best for you. Thank you for watching, guys. Until next time, bye.